You're listening to the audio portion of Workshop Wednesdays. Workshop Wednesdays is a free live discussion about topics affecting accountants, bookkeepers, and business owners. You can join the ABO group in Facebook to participate live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Just search for ABBO in Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, where you will learn, grow, and build a thriving bookkeeping practice. We have hundreds of lessons with almost every aspect of the industry. Start your free month today at Schoolofbookkeeping.com.
Well, welcome to another Workshop Wednesday, casual conversations for serious workflows, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com. You may notice that I'm by myself today, which is totally fine. Rachel is sick of me. No, she's not feeling well. So hopefully she feels better. So I'm going to be flying solo today with the workshop. So today we're going to be talking about PayPal and multi-currency, and we've been unpacking this sort of thing. So the biggest challenge that we've seen with PayPal and multi-currency is when you sell things online in a different currency than your home U.S. currency, it can get very complicated. Let's just say that. So I have a worst case scenario of that. Here I'm just looking at a PayPal state here, which has multiple different currencies. So here we have a sale in July of 2023 that was done in GBP, which is Great British Pound, and it was 204 pounds. Now, how does this all play out with regards to US dollars and whatnot? So take a look at that sale here in Shopify. So here is the sale in Shopify. Here we can see that's that $204 or 204 pounds was here, and then the amount that's paid is $263.08. This was done through PayPal. So you can see down here in the Shopify history, there is a PayPal Express checkout, right? So that kind of aligns with the sale, right? So let me go over here. So there's our sale, $204. There's a fee. 204 pounds. There was a fee of £10.57. Pence. What is it? What is the pounds? The points of pence, right? Of cents. So that's the fee here. So ultimately, in their PayPal pound account was not 193.43, right? So take a look over in QuickBooks. So there is the transaction itself. So there's the same customer that was on the Shopify order. We can see it's 3249. So this is the transaction itself. And this is the $263.08, which this is actually going to be deposited into a PayPal clearing account for US dollars, because the pounds was converted by PayPal into US dollars. So we want to deposit this sale into the PayPal US dollar clearing account. And then what we'll do is we'll transfer the dollar amount in pounds into the PayPal account that represents the pounds, right? So what we have here is the sale coming in, and then the funds that actually get put into the pounds account is a transfer here. Now, so this, we just immediately move it over, and then this just clears out to zero, right? So this just represents the funds that are actually moved into the pounds account, right? So back over here, we can itemize and split that sort of thing out. So here is the money movement of $263 going in as 204 pounds. right? And there's the currency or the foreign exchange rate that was utilized in order to do that. Now, when you're actually doing these transfers, whether, and I'll show an example, if we actually do the sweep or the moving of funds between different currency accounts in PayPal, that foreign currency exchange rate might not be the actual foreign currency exchange rate that was actually that QuickBooks would say, because as we talked about multi-currency in the overview, you just want to make sure that things are managed appropriately there, and that the dollar amounts are actually what they were. Whether or not that was the actual exchange rate that should have been used, that's another story. So you're really just matching QuickBooks reality to the real world reality, whatever that happens to be. So in this case, they put it in as an exchange rate of this rate. So 263 US dollars turns into 204 pounds, which was what was actually deposited into the GBP account for PayPal, right? So we want to make sure that reality is correct. So we move that over, and then we can recognize the fees, which was done in pounds. So the 10.57 pounds, I don't know how to say pounds in dollars and cents. So that's part of the challenge here. But that was $13.12 in the US dollar home currency, right? So that we're recognizing the fees there. And then, so that puts us to our balance amount according to the statement, right? So here's our 193.43. So that is the right amount. So that's how you would account for the fees and the sale in terms of the money coming into the foreign exchange amount. Now, as we talked about with Rachel last week a little bit, that the PayPal balance account, when it's foreign currencies, the money just sits there, right? So in this particular instance, this is a worst case scenario, right? Because you have to go into the PayPal account and tell PayPal, hey, whatever the balance is, in the case the 193.43, move that over to the US dollar account so that I can use the automatic sweep of balance back into my bank account. But what happened here in this particular case is they issued a refund for $199 6 days after the sale. So these two customers, this Irma person and Jack, are not related. They just happened to issue a refund that was done by PayPal for $199. So what would normally happen is that would get pulled from the bank account if there was no other balance inside of their PayPal. But in this case, they had money sitting in their GBP account. So PayPal took it upon itself to transfer that into US dollars on the day they did the refund. So here's 154.79 being pushed into the US dollar. So we want to account for that too. And that what we'll see here in the right one. So I'm in the wrong register. So we'll see that here, that fund sweep of 154.79 is being moved over into the US dollar PayPal bank account so that they actually issued the refund. So I was curious, right? On the day that this actually moved over, the $199 was the source of truth, because that's the money that they actually refunded through PayPal. And this was the amount that was taken out of the Great British Pound account, 154.79. So I was curious, what would that actually look like if I were to record that independently, right? So I did I'm going to do a transfer here. Going to be coming from the GBP account, and then we're going to be putting it into the PayPal US dollar account, right? All right, now the exchange rate is 1.30 pounds to dollars. If I did the date change, so I'm going to change this to when this actually did take place, which was July 26th of 2023, and see that exchange rate is going to change. They tab out to 1.296596, right? So it goes out 6 or 7 different decimal points. But that was the exchange rate according to QuickBooks, and where QuickBooks is getting those exchange rates on that particular day. So if I wanted to choose how much this actually was, so if I go to here, this was 154.79 pounds. Go in here and put that in the transfer amount of 154.79 and actually make that transfer on that day. Take a look at what actually occurs in the register. All right, there it is. Okay, so we look at the reality here. Here's the 2 transactions. This is the one that I just recorded. It's not $199. It is $270. So, or sorry, $200.70. So the difference is $1.70 with regards to whose exchange rates were actually being used. And this could actually be not in the business's favor. So it's very interesting. This is one of those sort of things that, well, you might need to reach out to PayPal or Shopify or whomever is doing the exchange rate. But in the grand scheme of things, they probably are just going to say, we used a different reference point for the exchange rate, because there's nothing in the statement that says the exchange rate that was actually used. So this 154.79 turns into 199 into the US dollar. So there is no reference anywhere about what exchange rate was actually used at that time. You might be able to see that inside the transaction statement inside of PayPal. Not sure, because I don't have access to this gentleman's PayPal account, but that's how things roll here when it comes to utilizing the multi-currency function for sales that are made in different currencies and bringing them into Quick. Now, so that's how things will play out when it comes to putting the transactions in as the dollar shows up, or in the dollar amount that they show up. Now, as we talked about last week, when they're using different amounts or different currencies in Shopify payments itself, everything just gets turned into a US dollar and it gets put into their Shopify payments in US dollar. There's no need to actually do the transfer and the multi-currency exchange, because everything that comes into QuickBooks is in US dollars anyway. You are having the same challenge with whose exchange rate they're using. That may not be the exact same exchange rate, but you wouldn't, in the grand scheme of things, you wouldn't necessarily need to activate the multi-currency if that is the option that they're using the Shopify solely with Shopify payments. But if they are using PayPal as a checkout option, which is likely an easier option for international collecting of payments, you want to keep this in mind, that those things are going to come in US dollars as far as the sales are concerned. And that needs to then be moved over into the foreign currency register with the amounts that actually did happen. And then you can account for the fees in the foreign currency that it was charged in. And then when you do make that sweep, in this case, it was a sweep to US dollars because of the event was a refund. But when they actually go in and say, hey, move these funds over to US dollars so I can receive them, you will make a transfer and use the same dollar amounts or the same amounts in both currencies. And then QuickBooks will actually recalculate the foreign exchange rate based off of that reality. Right. So that's one way to do that. And that's how you would do that when it comes to sales. Expenses are very similar when you have expenditures in the foreign currency through PayPal as well. And hopefully that is helpful. And we're going to cut today's conversation a little short because I have nobody to talk to on the workshop. So we will see you next time on the Workshop Wednesday. Hope you all have a great day.
And that wraps up another insightful episode of Workshop Wednesday, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion and took away some valuable tips and strategies to enhance your bookkeeping practice. Remember, if you want to stay ahead in the world of bookkeeping and accounting, be sure to visit Schoolofbookkeeping.com. With a wide range of courses, resources, and expert guidance, you'll find everything you need to sharpen your skills and boost your career. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, please take a moment to leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Your reviews help us reach more listeners and continue to bring you the best content every week. If you have questions or topics you'd like us to cover, reach out to us on social media or send us an email at support@schoolofbookkeeping.com. We love hearing from our listeners and are always looking for new ideas to explore. Thanks for tuning in to Workshop Wednesday. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep excelling in your bookkeeping journey. I'm Dan DeLong, and we'll see you next week.